What a way to kick off draft week. Jordan Love is on the show to usher us into our Green Bay Midwest vibes. We're going to bring kindness. We're going to talk to him, I'm sure, about what to do in Green Bay. Chatted with him at the Super Bowl. What has changed since then? Who does he want Goody and Co. to take with their first pick, one of their 8 picks? We'll talk to him about that. Little Aaron Rodgers. Put out some clips with the full thing. We'll run on today's show. So thank you guys. We also have, when did I put this up? Like 20 minutes ago, I put out a tweet that just said, what do I ask Mel Kiper? What do I ask a legend, an icon, Mel Kiper, who's joining the show today? And there's 7,000 responses. Unbelievable. Broncos, a lot about his hair. Can you guys be a little more original? So many hair tweets. I wish you could filter out like words in tweets. Did he really make $400 when he started at ESPN? I believe that was in 1984. I believe this is his 42nd draft. Yes, I took a master class on all things Kiper. Let's do this. Great Mel Kiper joining the show. What a legend. What a moment for us. Of course, he's been doing this to do anything for any sustained amount of time successfully. But he was also this pioneer, the first mock draft guy, the first guy to say, like, I'm going to take a whack at this thing, knowing I'm, not going to hit it every time, knowing that this is something new and sort of unheard of. They've been doing drafts since the 1930s, and he in 84 somehow lands on ESPN. We're going to get into a little bit of that. I know you want to know about Shador. I know, does anybody have questions about Cam Ward? I don't know. Hit me with those as well. I know you want to know about the Saints at 9. And you know you want to know about whether or not the Browns can land both Shador and Travis Hunter. And we'll get to those questions as well. But I've never met Mel Kiper. I'm excited to hear and learn more about the lore, the cell phones, what was it like was he ordering VHS from people back in the day? Was he going to the local Baltimore public library, and hitting up the microfiche and learning about some of these players, the Boomer Esiasons, the Eric Dickersons that he was scouting back then, future Hall of Famers, snubs, not snubs, guys who flopped? All of these things are part. You can't really. Is he a Hall of Famer? Is he Mel Kiper is a legend. I'm excited to have him. Some of these questions are pretty amazing. Let's take a look at some of them before we hit some NFL talk here. Thanks, guys, for watching. Well, now, hold on. I have to tweet this first. Let's get to some NFL news before I completely botch all of this. We also have Brashard Smith on the show, All-American running back out of SMU. He's going to, in short order here, find out what team he's playing for in 2025. So excited to get to know him. It has been really fun. Big thanks to my team for a heck of a job in getting to know these prospects, everyone from booking, from segment producing, to graphics, to finding these little moments to open these guys up a little bit, get to know the Ashton Genties, the Brashard Smiths, who we will hear in a little bit, the Shador Sanders at an airport at the drop of a hat. It's really, really fun. Are we talking to another highly drafted quarterback that's a prospect this week? We are. So big thanks to the entire Up and Adams team, to FanDuel, of course, for helping fuel all this draft intel ahead of the big day on Thursday. And of course, for inviting us to be part of the action. Thank you, NFL. We will be there Thursday and Friday talking to some of these top prospects. Quite an Easter weekend in the NFL world. 2 of the biggest prospects in the draft shared a pretty awesome moment during Colorado's spring game. Of course, I'm talking about the aforementioned in front of the show, Shador Sanders and Travis Hunter, both getting their jerseys retired. So congrats to both. I'm not opening Pandora's box here on what you think about what and why and who else and why not and whatever. I'll say this: Shador Sanders and Travis Hunter just undeniably, and then when you're undeniable, you get your stuff retired. They undeniably made an impact in short order on Colorado football, right? So to not be happy for them is a little weird. It's giving jealous. It's giving find something else to yell at the cloud about. They made an impact. And it's not their fault that previous regimes didn't appropriately honor other star players who should be. That is on them. But hopefully the entire ordeal helped sort of rectify that going forward. And while all that was going on, the odds have started to shift. The winds are changing as we get closer to Thursday night. Take a look at this. Travis Hunter over on FanDuel Sportsbook, the overwhelming favorite to become the number 2 overall pick after Browns GM Andrew Berry gushed and I mean gushed about him during his pre-draft press conference late last week. So Travis now minus 950 to go second overall. He was around minus 400 in that spot a week ago. Abdul Carter, my white whale, got to get him on the show. Abdul Carter, where art thou? A distant second at plus 550. Shador is sitting there at plus 1700. And speaking of Shador, who are the favorites to land? Mr. Shador out of Colorado, Mr. Retirement. Let's see, 1 second. No, we don't need to relaunch anything. Hold on. Shador is sitting there, as I'm seeing, at plus 210. Browns jump into second at plus 380. Giants held that spot, but they moved down to fourth at plus 410, as you're seeing. Go have fun, guys. Bet responsibly on FanDuel Sportsbook, even though the private workout, by the way, that it did go well. So those are interesting odds. Pittsburgh does make a jump here. They're third at plus 400 as I'm looking at FanDuel Sportsbook. You got to think that's the Aaron Rodgers factor. I know he's saying, is he really undecided? Or does everyone know what's happening here as we kick off draft week? I have a feeling, I would hope, I have faith that Aaron knows what's happening, that the Steelers know what's happening, that every other team maybe doesn't, and I don't care. But I don't think that Aaron's undecided. I think that there's a lot of orchestration that makes sense as to why things are playing out the way that they are. But that's at least what, you're seeing what the odds are on FanDuel Sportsbook. Let's take a short break here. We have Mel Kiper, the legend, on the show. We're bringing you Jordan Love in full, but I want to introduce you to Mr. SMU All-Purpose Yards. Yep. Brashard Smith on the show next. Okay. I could do my... I heard somebody, by the way. No, I heard somebody say that. We got you. From TOC. Yeah, no problem. Hold on, let me just tweet this really quick, Ham. On TV, as always, of course. Will we have Brashard here, you think?
Yep, he's ready.
Okay. But also streams live here. I mean, so many questions for Mel, huh?
Yeah. Very excited for that. Yeah, we've never gotten a chance to talk to him before, and he is, as he said, an all-time legend. Everyone has this sicko at like 10 years old, growing up watching Mel Kiper every draft week.
I know I'm going to ask a question. I know what is this? Who the hell is Mel Kiper bit? What is that? What is that from? Can we go?
Don't know. Oh, Bill Polian. That whole thing.
Bill Polian.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't.
What happened?
Sorry.
What do I need to know?
Bill Tobin. Sorry.
Oh. And this stuck? What is Mel Kiper a WWE character? Like what? Like
basically.
It's giving. You can't see me, John Cena, whatever. I can see you. We can't see each other. Whatever that is.
He has a lot of lore. Yeah. And he's got his own distinct style, and I know we're gonna get into that. He is one of the most, and I thought you brought up a great point. He's a Hall of Famer to me.
Really?
He should be a Hall of Famer.
I know I said absolutely. That. If you watch that back, I'm like, I don't know. I'm just saying that. I don't know what I'm saying. But I mean, 42 years in the biz. Do you know how hard it is to get sports media to buy in on something new? Can I just explain, like a big network buying in on some change? And he was just like, I think I should do a thing called a mock draft. Like, I can't imagine, like, if that was easy for him, I'll be pissed. And maybe it was, because timing matters.
For $400, they're like, sure, why not? Let's give this guy a chance.
$400 in 1984, I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know. All right, welcome back to the Up and Adams Show. We have Jordan Love. We have Mel Kiper. How about this? High praise from a Cowboys legend for my next guest. Program record, SMU, all-purpose yards, first-team All-ACC running back Brashard Smith. How about that tweet? How do you feel about that? It's pretty nice.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, here we go. I'm going to need a little more energy out of you on draft week. Do you understand that we're finally here?
Yes, I am. I'm very blessed and I'm very happy to be in this position for sure.
How does it feel? What does this week feel like for the, millions and bajillions of people who will never be you?
It feels pretty good. I feel like it's just one more step closer to my dream. So I feel like it's just one step closer for sure.
You have this amazing senior season. I bet that must have felt rewarding and sort of like a perfect end to it. You know, like you left with a great taste in everybody's mouth. Des Bryant talking about it. Who else shouted you out? Like, who else did you hear from during that incredible senior year?
Just guys that like, I'll say alumni from SMU. I heard from a lot of guys like Des Bryant just coming out, just saying that they see us and they're watching. Robert Griffin III. I seen like he's been watching, so I feel like it's a lot of guys been watching SMU, and we're definitely making like a change.
And before SMU, you were at University of Miami, of course. You spent 3 years there before the transfer, and you switched positions back to running back. How did the conversation about the position change go? Take me through that.
So it was coming into my third year. I was a slot receiver at Miami. Rhett Lashley, the SMU coach, he kind of hit me up and he kind of was just asking me, how do I see myself in the league and like how versatile I could be, just being in the backfield and just motioning out at receiver. So we kind of came to agreement, and I felt like it was the best decision for me.
If I'm an NFL GM, if I'm a scout, if I'm an NFL fan, which I am, you're like one of the prospects I'm truly most looking forward to. I'm very excited because I feel like we have such a small sample size almost, like we're just scratching the surface. This was your first year playing the position, and you were closing in on Eric Dickerson's school records, a Hall of Famer, crazy, an icon, a legend. It's sort of amazing as you play this position. I'm looking at the numbers here. 4th most rush yards in a season in SMU history. That's less than 100 yards behind ED in 1981, back when you were just a dream. It's sort of remarkable that you were able to do that. What clicked right away so well?
I'll say I try to just keep it like the basic is like I've been playing football my whole life since I was 3 to 4 years old. So it's just kind of just keeping that in mind and just knowing that I have a talent and a skill set that I feel like is different than others. So.
Well, I'm glad you made the change, because if you didn't, we couldn't play highlights like this. I'm going to need you to be excited about what I'm about to show you. November 2nd, Mustangs up 14-3 on Pitt. Second quarter. Talk me through this 71-yard touchdown run.
So I kind of I'm not going to say I already knew I was going to score, but I just felt like we kind of felt good about the play. It was like a trap play, quick 30 trap, and I feel like we hit it pretty good as far as blocking, and I just used my speed to score a touchdown.
Yeah, you used your speed. The safety has the angle on you, Smith, and you still outrun him. That's not speed. That's like actually unbelievable. You knew that was going 70 yards?
Yeah, yes, ma'am, for sure. Once I seen like him, and I knew I could beat him to the pylon for sure.
That game was amazing. 2 touchdowns against Pitt. You ran a 4.39 40-yard dash at the combine. Need I remind people that's top 3 fastest among running backs in the 2025 combine. You're also an incredible kick returner. Let me tell you, versatility, as you know, name of the game. How much can you do? How much can you bring? Have you gotten a chance to practice the NFL's dynamic kick return?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So I feel like just every team I talked to, they all like kind of talked about kick return or punt return. So I definitely have to be ready for that. And I feel like I'm very comfortable at it. So I'm ready for it for sure.
Which team talked about it the most?
I'm not sure. Probably all of them, but I'll say more like just head on. the Tennessee Titans, Chicago Bears, the Dolphins, Minnesota Vikings. A lot of teams they're kind of just saying that they need special teams guys, that dynamic players for sure.
Well, you led the ACC in 2023 in kick return yards while at Miami, which I'm sure everybody knows. I'm excited to see you make these spark plays. They can be so huge. Gosh, you've been traveling a lot, huh? Even just those, that's a lot of traveling. And talking to those teams, combine-wise and everywhere. I know you're from South Florida. You've traveled a lot in your life. You go to Dallas, Texas. What is the most Texas-coded thing you've seen or done ever?
I'll just say it's more friendlier. Like, I'll say it's more friendlier in Texas, as far as like I just feel like everyone is just so much nicer in Texas. I don't know if that's probably me, but it's just like it's more a Southern hospitality. But I feel like I love it for sure. I love both cities for sure, but yeah, that's what I would say is the biggest difference. It's more just more friendlier people and more friendlier vibes from everyone.
How hospitable, how good of a host with that Southern hospitality you're talking about were the Cowboys on Dallas Day?
I think that would be really great. I think that's big time for sure.
Did you go? Yeah, you went, right?
Say it one more time.
Did you go to Dallas Day?
Oh, yes, I did.
I'm asking, tell me about that day. What stuck out to you?
Just all the people, just going and actually meeting all the coaches and actually meeting the GM, and just knowing that they were actually watching. And I felt like it was so real that they were actually watching our season, and like they know who I am. And I just felt like that was kind of big to me for sure. Just being in the city and just knowing that those guys were definitely watching us throughout the whole year. So
it's amazing. Now, do you like the cold weather?
I'm getting used to it, so now I'll say yeah. But at first, when I first got to Dallas, no, I did not.
Yeah. Oh, you think Dallas is cold? Oh boy.
Yeah, I think Dallas. Yeah.
Oh boy. Because I'm trying to think about you as a Viking potentially, and I know we got a snapshot of it, but like that's a different level cold up there. Are you ready for that potentially? I know you were there for a top 30 visit.
I'll say yeah. I think I'm pretty ready. Like I have to get ready. I can't be thinking about the cold.
You can't. I mean, at least you get the dome.
Yeah, that's fact.
And then it's like probably a little easier if you're like, oh, I get to play with Aaron Jones, and there's Justin Jefferson. Like that'd be pretty nice. Did you like that visit?
Yeah, I loved it. It was probably one of my top top two. I'll say that I really like for sure.
What made it that? Like, why is that? What was it about it?
Just the people around, and I can see like how they're trying to change like the program around, and I feel like it's definitely going to change. And I feel like the coaches that they have it's big time, and they're building something special for sure.
Now you have to tell me your favorite, because you said it was your second favorite. Top two. Well, who's top one? Who's the other one?
I had a great visit at Chicago. Also, I really had fun. Yeah.
That's where I'm from now. I need if you go there, you gotta help me turn that team around. What did you like about Chicago and that team?
I love the coaches. The people also, and the team. Like I've seen the teammates around, and I was actually getting to talk to them. And I feel like it's a very cool spot to be at for sure.
Who'd you get to talk to? That's so fun.
Tyreek Stevenson. He went to University of Miami, so I kind of like he was kind of like a mentor for me, and he was there, so that was kind of big for me.
I love that. I don't know what we lost you. I don't know why you're like this. Should I do that with you? Is that like a Gen Z thing? Is that what cool kids are doing?
Nah, I'm not sure. Someone called me. That's probably.
Now you're back. Well, maybe it was a team calling for your services because they're watching this interview live on TV. I love that. I'm really glad that we got to reschedule this. I know you're super busy. Last week, we had to change the interview, Mr. Big Time Brashard, because you had like a team call. What was that about?
Yeah, I had a couple Zoom calls I had to like kind of like do like right then and there. So I was kind of upset on the call.
My favorite thing that I'm always going to remember when you are breaking records in the NFC North, in the frozen NFC North, whether it's Chicago or Minnesota, that you thought that when I asked you about the cold, that I meant Dallas.
Yeah.
From South Florida to Dallas, all the way up potentially to Minnesota or wherever you are. I wish you good luck. Enjoy the week. And thank you for coming on and making time.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me.
Thank you. Maybe you'll be going up against Jordan Love twice a year. Who knows? Jordan Love's on the show after this, of course, draft week in Green Bay. We'll be right back. I like that he liked Minnesota. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
First of all, Chicago fans, are you effing hearing this? You've got a draft prospect who did top 30 visits with he did Dallas Day. You know, Jerry's there whining and dining and giving him caviar and ruffles. Like, you know what's going on down in Dallas. Then you've got Kevin O'Connell. You're dangling Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones. And you have a kid saying that he loved Chicago. And one of the first thing he said about it, the coaches. He liked meeting the coaches. So listen here, Chicago. Get freaking excited, because that is, I don't know that I've heard that in my career time. Not respectfully, but for you to say out the gate, Chicago was your favorite visit because of the coaches. And then of course he saw some players around. Like, okay, you have my attention, Chicago. You have my attention.
And that's the Ben Johnson effect. I mean, thinking about him in that offense with his versatility too is awesome. And I can think of another dynamic kick returner from Miami that had a nice little run with the Bears. So
not too shabby.
Makes sense.
Not too shabby. He's exciting to watch.
Oh yeah, he's super explosive. Yeah. And as you said, like it's interesting to think about him just scratching the surface. Only having played running back for 1 year and becoming an All-American is crazy.
Do you think it's being used against him, or is it being used in like he's got fresh legsy way? Is it kind of evening out at the end of the day? Or is he being mocked on Cal Filson's mock?
I haven't checked the latest Cal Filson mock. I gotta get on that.
Look.
But
do you have the link?
Let me see.
I asked you to put him in. I want it all over the show this week, like I asked. Let's definitely get that. I'm sorry. No, you're great. I just wish I knew going in. I should know.
Yeah, we'll see. I gotta find the link again. But
Wilson, don't hide your goodness from us. We do have Mel Kiper on the show. I'm looking at some of these questions. Mm-hmm. Okay. Got you. Thank you. Let's see some of these. Let me pop some of these in here. I think people misunderstand. I have a whole take on like mock drafting. People are like, I don't understand. People are absolutely rabid. Okay. Jordan Love. We are headed to Green Bay as a show. The entire sports world, of course, the center of it will be the cheese curds, will be the cheesecake heaven, will be the beautiful neighborhood, the warmth of Green Bay as the Packers get set to host the NFL draft this year. Mel Kiper is on the show in just a little bit. I had a chance to sit down with Mr. Jordan Love, who's entering his 4th year as a starter. And we talked a little bit about his draft day. We even reminisced about his first drive past Lambeau. All right, Jordan Love, it's draft week. You gave me so many tips about how to tackle Green Bay. I want you to take me back to your first trip ever to Green Bay. What sticks out? What do you remember?
Ooh, my first trip ever to Green Bay was crazy. So it was actually, I think a little bit before training camp during the COVID year, because we weren't there for any OTAs or anything. So I remember my first time driving into Green Bay. We actually drove to Lambeau and just drove around the stadium. And I mean, just driving up and seeing it, knowing that that's the place I'm going to be playing in one day, and the team that drafted me, it was special because I don't know if you've been out there recently, but, there's not too many big buildings, and you get there and the stadium just looks ginormous. So
did you get out and take a picture in front of the stadium?
No, I didn't get out and take any pictures. We was just cruising around, looking, taking it all in. So I didn't get
love that. I love that. We talked back at Super Bowl, and one thing that really stuck out to me is just kind of how you handle yourself. Everyone talks about the poise you have, your former teammates, and like handling communication and all of that. The Packers have 8 picks. How do you, as a leader on this team, communicate to the powers that be that are doing their job what positions you're interested in? How do you communicate your thoughts on the draft?
Everybody's got, thoughts and opinions, and the Packers do a great job. We talk with Goody, the GM, and Matt, and we talk after the season, kind of, what directions we feel like we need to go in for next season. And then I kind of just let them do their thing. They're the pros at this, at going through the draft process, interviewing all these guys, and just figuring out who's going to be a good player fit, but also just a good locker room fit for the team. That's a huge part to it, is guys that can come in are ready to learn and ready to compete and be great teammates. So, I kind of let them handle their business. The draft is always a hectic period. You never know who you're going to get, what pick, what trades are going to happen. So I like to just sit back and take it all in and be ready to reach out to those guys after the fact.
And there's so many positions they could take. They pick at 23. So if you're not texting Goody, are you just like leaving DVDs of Jalen Royals around places, like in the training room, at his desk? Like, let's be honest, but come on now.
I think being from Utah State myself, having a receiver like Jalen Royal that, has came out, has made a name for himself, I think they've watched plenty of tape on him and probably already know that I would definitely take a fellow Aggie myself. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited to see where he ends up.
Goody, do the right thing. 4.3240. Let's go. School record, 15 touchdowns in 2023.
Well,
I'd love to see it. Defensively, what's going on with Jair? When's the last time you talked to that madman?
That's a great question. I'm not sure. I need to reach out to Ja, see what the deal is. But, Ja, he's got his own world going on. I'm gonna let him handle his business and see what's going on. But that's my guy right there. He's definitely a player we need back. Just the play style he plays with and who he is on the field. I mean, that's a guy we need to have around. So. We'll see what happens.
When you talk locker room fits with these draft prospects, 8 picks, like what's the locker room fit for Jair? What would, like, if he leaves, what hole is that leaving?
I mean, locker room wise, he's a character. That's a guy that you never know what you're gonna get with Ja. He's always a guy that interacts with everybody on the team, and he jokes around, but he also has that serious side to him, and a competitor. And obviously, the player on the field is a whole nother area that we would be losing if we didn't have him. So, talk about rookies, to have a rookie come in and play at the level. I'm not there yet. We'll see. We'll work these guys out and try and see. But, I'm hoping Ja's still there with us. We'll see. But that's my guy right there.
Do you feel like you're young in this game? Like, I'm trying to think, it's your foot. What year is it? What you were drafted COVID year? Like, do you feel, what do you feel like? Do you feel like a veteran? Do you still feel like you're new? Like, where are you in this career?
No, I definitely don't feel like I'm new. I feel like I've been around. I think these seasons have gone by extremely fast. I feel like every year it goes by even faster. So, I'm going on my 3rd year on the field, but I've been in the Packers locker room. I've been in the league going on year 6. So I've been around. I definitely feel like I'm a vet on this team now. But, at the same time, I'm still learning and growing every day as well. So I'm experiencing new things that I haven't experienced in my 6 years yet. So I'm just excited, taking it day by day. But, every year goes by faster and faster, I say.
What are you working on right now, football-wise? I know I feel like I did this whole thing last week on my show. Packers are being slept on. I hope you enjoy that. I think you should embrace that and enjoy that. What's one thing that you're like really looking forward to maybe for next season?
I'm really just looking forward to getting back. OTAs are around the corner. I've been grinding this offseason, been down here in San Diego, working on the field, working on a lot of different things as far as footwork and just getting back to throwing the ball and enjoying this process. But I'm looking back to getting with my guys, getting with the team and, putting in that work in during OTAs to get us ready for the season. But like you said, it's around the corner, and I'm not worried about us being slept on. I know what type of team we are. I know who we got in that locker room, and like I said, I'm excited getting back to work with those guys.
You're going to welcome in some even younger cats. I can't wait. I looked at the schedule for this year.
What's up?
You play the Vikings and the Steelers this season. So if your old friend Aaron Rodgers stays in the National Football League, you will play him potentially. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, who knows what team he's going to end up on right now. So we'll see that. I would definitely love to play A-Rod. That would be cool to, obviously starting my career with him being a backup to now playing against him. That would definitely be a pretty cool experience. But we'll see where he ends up. I know there's a lot of question marks around that. So I'm excited to see it for him.
Jordan, what if he doesn't play anymore? What if this is it?
We'll see. I'm not even going to speak on that. We'll see. I hope that's not the case.
Yeah.
Watching that man play, I definitely think he's got some more years in the tank. But that was my mentor coming to the league, so I would hate to see him go out. But I mean, he's had a phenomenal career. Definitely a Hall of Famer. So we'll see. I don't think he's ready to end it though. We'll see.
I feel like you want to beat him before he goes.
I want to beat everybody.
That's what I heard. Tell me about what you're doing with Toyota.
Yeah, so I'm partnering with Toyota. So we're actually, as you know, the draft being in Green Bay, we are giving a girls flag football team the opportunity to come in day 3 and go up on stage and announce a pick. So trying to empower this girls football team, obviously, show them what could be the future of, if they keep working hard, the things that they can achieve and actually announcing a pick and giving somebody the opportunity that they've been chasing for a long time. So just giving them the opportunity to get up on stage and showcase what they can do one day if they keep achieving for greatness. And then also partner with them to pay for the registration fees for
that's amazing.
Flag football teams in the Green Bay area for next season. So just trying to grow the game as best we can and give people the opportunity to step out and play this great sport that I love, you love, everybody loves. So just trying to empower that next generation to get out there.
Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL, you're trying to grow NFL flag football as the draft comes to your city. I love that. So all teams within a 25-mile radius of Green Bay will have their registration covered. That is huge. I love that, giving local girls a front row seat to the draft, plus this amazing opportunity also to announce a day 3 pick. Toyota is all over it. I'm so curious what you think about flag football, the Olympics. I'm here in LA, you're in San Diego, 2028. Are you going to try to qualify? Or have you thought about it?
I'm not even worried about flag football. I got other things to worry about this time.
Okay, answer me this. Which wide receiver on your team would be best at flag football on the Olympic team?
Best at flag football in the Olympic team?
Yeah. One.
Ooh, I would say Wicks. Wicks would be the one to go out there and be able to, I think flag football is all about having that shakiness ability to be able to, shake people off, make sure they don't grab your flag. So, I mean, with his ability to get in and out, he'll route some people up and then he'll get out there and make you miss. I think he's got that ability. He'd kill it in flag football, but I'm excited to see it. I love watching flag football. And, that was the first thing I did when I grew up was playing flag football before tackle. So, I
feel like you got to be on the team. I need you on the 2028 LA team.
I would love to. I don't think I got enough wiggle to be able to make people miss with the flags on me. I'll drop some dimes though.
That's what I wanted to hear. Toyota definitely making an impact. Thank you for all that you've done with flag football, obviously in the community there. I saw you just dropped off some cleats to Appleton last week. I love that because I have family there. And just everything you do with youth football. You are an amazing guy. Enjoy your time. Congrats on your wedding and your In-N-Out truck. And hopefully we'll see you in training camp.
Thank you. I'll see you around.
I'm such an idiot, Matthew. I'm like, you're an amazing guy. Like, what am I even saying? I've gotten so lazy. I've gotten lazy with my goodbyes. Just what am I even saying? You're an amazing guy. What?
I mean, you just talked about all the charity work you did for Appleton. Yeah. So, it wasn't just out of the blue. It all tied into that.
Did it? Okay. Oh no, are we going to get stood up by Mel? That would be iconic.
Just add to his lore even more.
I got nothing. I don't even know. I didn't watch WrestleMania, so I got nothing there.
Yeah. Have you caught up on Hacks?
I did not. No, I've not caught up on Hacks. I have church takes, but the Pope passed away this morning. I can't even hit you with those.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel right.
I can't even ask you about that text yesterday. Yeah.
Not today.
No. Not today.
Not today.
So what have you been doing? What have you been up to?
What are you, insane? You think I'm going to tell you what I've been up to? On that? Like, are you actually? Have you lost your mind? I get to see you on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Very excited.
We need this Jackson Dart fellow on the show. We need
it's got to
Cam
happen.
Ward on the program.
I think, yeah, we're definitely
I have so many
talk.
church takes. It's a real shame.
Man. We're definitely going to talk some Cam Ward tomorrow. Because it's like, he's been such a runaway for the number one overall pick. It's like, those guys get, like, forgotten
They
about.
get the
almost.
shaft. But I would so enjoy that. What do you want? What do you want? I don't want anybody talking about me ever.
Yeah. Just a general principle.
Just keep my name out of your mouth, good or bad. Are we contacting someone over there at that world leader? Oof, woofs, guys, woofs. Woofs all around.
Got into too much pumpkin pie over Easter weekend.
Yeah. I don't see. What are you talking about? Where's this thing we're doing?
Top of Mel Kiper.
It's you guys moved it. Love that. Wow. Welcome back to Up and Adams. We're waiting on Mel Kiper, as one might wait for an icon, a legend, a goat in his own right, and we will wait. But here's something I wanted to talk about that we were squeezed on because we met Brashard Smith. Let's go back to the quarterback position. We heard a little from Jaden Daniels on Gruden's podcast with John Gruden. It's called Gruden Goes Long. This quote made the group chat for Up and Adams. Okay, here's what he said. Got to prove myself to my teammates, the org, each and every day that I'm getting better. When it's time to prepare and when those games come, I've got to know that, hey, how can I eliminate some tendencies? Stuff like that, because that's the big thing. Coach is always trying to find tendencies of what this player is going to do so they can anticipate and hopefully get you in the situation. My goodness, I would just love to play for him, with him, not against him. He's incredible. This stuck out because this made the sicko group chat. This is the next level sicko stuff that we like to hear from our quarterbacks in April. And this is all, of course, tied into this idea, which isn't, is there juice to this? We did a little science experiment. What is the sophomore slump? Similar to the Super Bowl hangover. What is it to this? Is it true that defensive coordinators can sort of figure out and shake up young quarterbacks once they get a year of tape on them and a full offseason? Should we expect to see some regression in year two? The fact that Jaden's dissecting his own tape and working on improving through that lens already, I don't think it's going to apply to him. And it did get us thinking to do a science experiment. We did some digging because we're sickos and we're next level sickos, as you know. You can't paint everything with that broad of a brush, but there's a little something to it. We took a look at last 5 quarterbacks to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, like Jaden, and what happened in their sophomore seasons. Now, with the exception of Kyler Murray, they all had a dip in passer rating in year 2. Shock, horror, sky falling. And by an average, by the way, of almost 10 points per quarterback. CJ Stroud, the only one of those guys to lead his team to the playoffs in the second year as well. I know there are other variables at play here, like, obviously, what happened to Stroud and what continues to happen to Stroud and his O-line. That's pretty staggering, no? What do you guys make of that? At Up and Adams Show, at Hey K Adams, let me know. In the YouTube chat, let me know. I like that Jaden's maybe seeing that, trying to get ahead of that. If you look at FanDuel Sportsbook, they are certainly, those overlords are not expecting a sophomore slump. He is currently getting the 5th best odds to win MVP next year, plus 900, behind only Lamar, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Mahomes. So if you had to throw in with somebody right now, I'd love to know who you're going with. Let us know at Up and Adam Show. Should we bring in Mel now, or should we take a break? Oh, we're done with breaks on our program. Okay, well, I love that. Let me get to where I need to get to because I have so many questions off Twitter. My goodness. Mel Kiper, welcome to the show. We will be there. Of course, you are the...
How you been?
I'm so good. You're the GOAT. I've never met you. You are a legend. Thank you for the time.
Anytime, Kay. Great to be with you.
What were you doing this morning? Eating pumpkin pie, my friend?
No, I haven't had any for a few months now. I was doing different podcasts and radio and all kinds of stuff. So in our first draft podcast with Field Yates, we did this morning as well. So it's one thing after another, Kay, and in the Green Bay Wednesday morning.
Mel, can you believe this is your 42nd draft? When I say that, at least with ESPN, what comes into your head?
47 actually covering the draft, Kay. Can you believe that? 47 years of doing this, 42 now at ESPN. I said this morning to Dan Patrick, I said, Dan, remember 1984 was my first year, and I'm sitting with Boomer, Chris Berman, and Bob Lee, and I had Boomer Esiason as the 3rd highest rated player, Kay, on my board. He was passed over 3 times. There you go. That's exactly the year. And he was passed over 3 times by the Bengals, and he was taken in the 2nd round. Kay, I thought I was one and done. I mean, I got on that plane to come back to Baltimore. Said, they're never going to have me back here. Boomer dropped to the 2nd round. I had him 3rd on my board. I'm one draft. I'm 23 years old. I'm done. And, fortunately, Boomer ended up having a heck of a career. Could have won a Super Bowl if it wasn't for Joe Montana and that great drive. So sometimes, quarterbacks do slide, Kay. That kind of is the theme of this draft with Shedeur Sanders. Where will he go? Does he slide? I said for months now, if you slide, it's not a bad thing. 6 of the 8 quarterbacks that slid since 1970 turned out to be pretty good.
It might not be a bad thing for Shedeur, but would it be a bad thing for teams that need quarterbacks? How big of a mistake would the Browns and the Giants make in taking amazing talents like Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter? But how big of a mistake would it be to pass on a quarterback at 2 and 3?
Time will tell us that, but I will say this. For people to say, and I've heard this over the weekend, well, if they like him, you take him at 3. If you like him, you don't take him at 3. Then you don't like him too much, you don't take him at all. Well, I remember not that long ago, people say, well, you're old, Kiper. It's 1984. Who cares, right? Do you care about when Lamar Jackson was drafted? It wasn't that long ago, Kay, when the Ravens took Hayden Hurst, a tight end out of South Carolina, not that long before they ended up trading back in to get Lamar Jackson. So could have had Lamar. They didn't have to try to make a trade. They didn't know somebody else was going to trade back in. They took Hayden Hurst, and then they traded back in to get Lamar Jackson. So did they love Lamar? If they loved him, they would have taken him over Hayden Hurst, right? A tight end out of South Carolina at the time. So to me, if the Giants or somebody can do that, New Orleans, Cleveland can take the highest rated player, then get back into the 1st round and get Shedeur Sanders, that's a pretty good move. The Ravens, like I say, did it not that long ago with Lamar Jackson.
You've been high on Shedeur Sanders as a player. Of course, there's only so much you can control with fits and the sort of nuances that happen as far as this quarterback draft class is concerned. If he makes it past the Saints somehow, and I know you have him there, so do I. I'd love to see it. Speaking of Lamar Jackson, could have had him, didn't. Like, they could get their quarterback. If he does make it past the Saints, what kind of a slide are we talking about here?
Pittsburgh at 21, then the Rams, you say maybe not. So Pittsburgh's the key team, but they don't. And it's been suggested they may not. Then he gets kind of into that no man's land of the late 1st where teams aren't going to take a quarterback. Then, like Brett Favre, I had a super high grade on Brett Favre. Okay, he dropped into the 2nd round. Geno Smith was projected to go in the top 10, dropped to the 2nd round. I mentioned Boomer Esiason. So Aaron Rodgers slid to 24. 3 weeks before that draft, we had him going number 1. This has happened before. But New Orleans, to your point, I remember the draft with Lamar, right? I'm sitting there and I'm saying, okay, they traded up. Mel, they're taking Lamar Jackson. They had to be trading up to take Lamar Jackson. They took Marcus Davenport, a tight end at Texas San Antonio. Okay, so again, there's that pick, and then the Ravens had to trade back in to get Lamar. Here we are with the Saints. Haven't taken a quarterback in the 1st round, Kay, in 54 years, okay, since 1970 when it was Archie Manning. So when you think about that, it makes perfect sense. Drew Brees came there because he had a great arm. He was off the shoulder, wins the Super Bowl, right, because of the dome. You have Shedeur Sanders, criticism athleticism. He doesn't have the rocket arm, the dome. It makes perfect sense for a new coach like Kellen Moore to take Shedeur Sanders, but the intel suggests, Kay, it's not going to happen. Will they trade back in and try to get him? I don't know. Jackson Dart's in that mix as well. It's going to be really fun and fascinating, and the mystery of this draft and the talk of this draft is, for obvious reasons, Shedeur Sanders.
Mel, where the heck does this energy come from? I've had 2 full-on coffees, and you are operating on some literal other.
I got bottled water. I got nothing but water.
Where does this come from? What fuels Mel? Is this like your factory setting? Talk to me.
Yeah, it really is, because it's all different, all new every year, Kay. So next year's draft is going to be completely different. These are players who've been scouting for years, and you talk about them every day. And now we finally get Christmas morning, right? It's Christmas morning. Hopefully we got a lot of intrigue. Nobody wants to know what you got the night before. So let's see what Santa brings. And I think that's the day when Santa Claus delivers all these great. That's why people hated me, Kay, back in the day, because I was kind of raining on their parade. I was saying, no, this guy's not as good. They want everybody to celebrate their picks. They want season ticket sales to go up. They want everybody to be calling and ordering their tickets. So it is a great day to celebrate the NFL and college football. And for me, what makes it so much fun is the mystery. We think we know, but we really don't know what's going to happen. And then the shockers, always happen. The surprises always happen. And let's tee it up and let's get it started on Thursday night.
You said in your mock draft that, or you didn't say, but I saw your mock draft. You said that you'd hold off on your quarterback moves for the Steelers until we know more about Rodgers. If we don't have a decision by draft day, which is hard to believe, I think everybody knows what's going on already. How would that change your outlook if there's no public decision on who the Steelers will draft? Still a D tackle?
I still think Derek Harmon makes sense. Cam Hayward is there to kind of mentor Derek Harmon or another defensive tackle, whoever they like. They have no second-round pick, sent that to Seattle for DK Metcalf. I just look at that division with Lamar and Burrow and the AFC, loaded with so many great quarterbacks, as you know. What are you going to do? Yeah, you can get to the playoffs. You lost 9 straight years in the playoffs. You've been 500 or better every year, basically, in the 20-plus years, but you got to be able to get more than just to the playoffs, win a playoff game, go beyond that. And it's all about quarterback. You can't be 3rd, 4th in your division at quarterback and expect to have a fighting chance to go places. So to me, they got to figure out quarterback. And I understand Shedeur is there. It's going to be really interesting, Kay, because you don't want to let everybody know what you're thinking. You're 21. If teams say, oh, the Steelers are taking Shedeur, that's the point we have to get to. We got to get beyond Pittsburgh. We got to move ahead of Pittsburgh to get Shedeur. If they don't know and Pittsburgh's saying the word is they may not, then why tell? Nobody's going to tell anybody what they're doing, particularly at the most important position in all sports is quarterback. So if you like a guy, don't mention it to anybody. Don't let anything out of your building. So we really don't know what Pittsburgh's going to do. I will say this. If they didn't take Shedeur and he were there, it would be a pretty big surprise if they passed on a quarterback or if they didn't get a quarterback. Remember, they have no 2. So they have to wait till the 3rd. Is Jalen Milroe going to be there? Is Jalen Milroe going to become a more accurate passer in the NFL to become a successful quarterback? We don't know that. So I think, again, it's so much intrigue and so much fun going into this draft that's why we're all excited and we're entertained and we're thrilled to be going to Green Bay in a few hours.
Do you think what do you think about Green Bay as a host city? In your 47 years, 42 at ESPN, you've never done a draft in Green Bay.
No, it's a bucket list for me. I've been to Madison, to the University of Wisconsin for college game day.
Never been to Green Bay.
Never been to Green Bay, never been to Lambeau. It's going to be fun. And again, all the years, Nashville was great, but this is going to be special. Next year in Pittsburgh is going to be great as well, Kay. I think Roger Goodell was a stroke of genius taking this on the road. It really was. New York was great. You had fans from all over coming in New York, but to go to these venues where you got 1 million people there, it's like New Year's Eve at Times Square. It's pretty amazing, Kay, to see the fans standing in line. Like I always tell people, the one thing I was right about, 2 things. I married Kim Kiper back there, and also happy birthday. Her birthday's coming up as well. But the draft, to be able to bet on that, to really figure, okay, people are going to love this. When everybody said, why are you watching it? Why do you care? To see it become what it is, this huge extravaganza, is pretty amazing.
So I've read a lot about your wife and about the role she plays in making the Kiper machine happen.
Yes.
You're telling me her birthday's in draft season or after the draft? Like right after?
April 23rd is the birthday. So how
big is that celebration, Mel? Honestly.
It's always been huge. She always was able to come with me, and then Lauren, our daughter, would come. Well, guess what? We got an 8-month-old granddaughter now, Blakely Grace. So Blakely's going to be here with Lauren, watching here with Kim. So all the girls will be down here on the island, but I'll be in Green Bay. And Alex, my son-in-law, and Brett, his best friend from Penn State. Brett went to Penn State. Alex went to Stevenson, was a volleyball player there. That's how they met. Alex and Brett are coming with me to Green Bay. So all the guys are going to Green Bay. All the ladies here will be back with our little 8-month-old granddaughter, Blakely.
Mel, sounds like you're going to have to use that cell phone.
It's right. Okay, it's right here. I can pull it out.
Let's see it.
It's getting charged over there. It's the little cell phone I only use when I go there or go out.
I need to see it. Can you go grab it, Mel? I need to see this. Yeah. So here's the lore of Mel Kiper. You have 4 landlines, I hear. I would like to know if it's still 4. You don't like using your cell phone. You keep it in a drawer until you have to leave to places like Green Bay. It's being charged over there.
This is it, Kay. This is the cell phone.
At least I thought it might be some like Zach Morris huge Motorola phone.
No, that's our daughter right there. That's Lauren right there.
Oh.
And that's the purple Ravens, I guess, cell phone that I take to the draft.
Yeah.
I throw it in the Jeep. I got a Jeep, right? I got my red Jeep that I take around the island. So I throw it in there when I go out on the road or do whatever I have to do. But it sits there, and people will text me after the draft, Kay, and they'll say, I never even checked that thing. That thing's gone.
I love this.
It goes back into this drawer, and it's done for the whole year until the draft rolls around, or when I take it out just in case I need it, and I never usually need it, thank God. So it just sits there as well. So yeah, cell phones is not my deal. Never has been, never will be.
I love it. I like the lack of accountability, the lack of like hearing feedback. You can do what you want. Like I like everything about that. You started your role far before the internet, pre-internet. What has been the single biggest game changer for your process, technologically speaking, between your early years and now? I can imagine you used to have to just order tapes from high schools or colleges. Like, what did you do?
Okay, it was a great question because I just explained to people back in the day, 30 hours a week I spent on the phone, on the landline, calling schools to get statistical information, Kay, that you can in a blink get. So if I would need, how many sacks did a kid have? I had to call the school. How many catches? Kids don't realize that. You had to call the schools. It wasn't available anywhere, Kay. You had to call the schools. So when I called the schools and I talked to the sports information directors, the football contacts, I'd ask them those questions, but I'd also get a ton of more information about younger players that are impressing, an injury to a kid that may have affected his performance that particular week. So just those conversations, and those guys became great friends of mine, Kay, for 30, 40 years. That's why I tell kids, pick up the phone. Don't tell me. Back in the day, they were saying I talked to somebody, but they were texting. That's not talking to somebody. You didn't call somebody when you texted them. You didn't have a conversation through text. You didn't talk to somebody. So call, talk, hear that voice, go back and forth, use the telephone the way it was meant to be. And if you can, then through that, you develop those relationships that I've had for all these years. And I found out stuff I didn't imagine I was going to get when I called to find out the average per catch of a receiver back in 1980. So, and I had to do that for a long time before the internet came around. And then you had all this statistical information at your fingertips. Like I say, that's a lot of hours a week just spent. Forget about watching tape. That was just spent on the telephone.
And now you still have the landlines, though. Kim still has a job. We're already looking forward to Pittsburgh next year. We're not even through the draft. I love this. I wanted to ask you, I was going to ask you what advice you'd give to younger people who want to do what you do. You were such a pioneer, and I got to say, it's really lovely to hear people like Field, people like Todd, people like Greeny just say how supportive you are, how secure you are in ushering new people in. What is it like to hear that from your colleagues?
Well, I always wanted that, Kay. I never liked being any so-called final voice or whatever Kiper says or his opinion. I wanted somebody else to have a counter opinion or another opinion. The more the merrier. Bring them all in. I wanted everybody at the main set. And Todd was great, and Todd is great, and Field is phenomenal, and Matt Miller and Jordan Reed and Peter Schrager and all the guys, Kay, that follow this draft. You haven't come on up, Kay, join us. Whoever, and look at the internet now. Everybody's got a mock draft, right? There's a million of them every day. I mean, that's great. The fans love this process. They eat, sleep, and drink it. And when I had fans back in the day, Kay, I knew the draft, how big it was. When I had fans, multiple fans say, we look more forward to the draft than we do the start of the NFL regular season. That's pretty amazing. And that's what fans at these 3 days in Green Bay, they look more forward to than college football, the NFL, any game they may be watching this year. So that tells you just, and that's going to determine too. These days determine who is in the playoffs, who is in that Super Bowl. And I knew it back in the day. So like I said, to be right about that was huge because there was so many people, Kay, back in the day writing awful negative articles about the draft, about me, about why would anybody watch. The NFL fought ESPN about even televising it. They thought it would be an embarrassment to the league, just announcing names and doing all that. So just to see where it was, why are you doing that? Get a real job. It's a waste of time. Nobody cares. To hear all that back in the day and to see where it is now is pretty rewarding. And like I say, they bring all those great people to the set and like I say, and have different opinions to take all the pressure away from me to say, okay, it's not
but
just
who
me,
believed in you?
Who
Believed in you? Because was it your idea? Did you have a meeting? Take me into the in-person meeting where either you pitched this or somebody said, we want you to do this.
Well, back in the day, I just had an idea about if college football is so big and the NFL is so big and you bring it together, this is the only way to improve your team. The draft is huge. And I loved it because that's you had, and the fans weren't able to see these kids, Kay. So they had to get knowledge about their players that were drafted in some other form. They couldn't watch these. And back when I was coming through the ranks, it was 1 or 2 college games on a Saturday. That's it, Kay. Now you can watch every game. So fans, forget the major colleges. It's not just them. How about the smaller colleges? So to bring that information to the fans is the reason why I thought a draft report, the blue book, that I had back in the day in 1979 was going to be important.
Your draft report on Ashton Jeanty has stayed the same, my friend. I've been tracking it, my team. For 6 months now, Ashton Jeanty, 6 Raiders, but now I'm hearing things. I bet you that purple little Raven cell phone is lighting up saying we're hearing movement. What is the % chance that he goes there at? Like, is that the pick you're most confident in still, the Raiders?
Yeah, I keep hearing he might go a little higher. When I had him 6K, they were saying, oh, it's too high for a running back at 6. Now you talk about Jacksonville, maybe, New England, maybe, that he could be gone by 6. Amarian Hampton's the one I feel very confident about to Denver at 20. I think if he's there at Denver for Sean Payton, he makes a ton of sense. I still think for Pete Carroll and the Raiders, who could not run the football, now you got Pete coming in. He wants to run the football. He's got Geno. He wants to help him out. Ashton Jeanty would be a great addition, but you have a couple teams picking ahead of them that could take Ashton. So, like I said, the one I like, Amarian Hampton, running back North Carolina to Denver at pick number 20, I think would be a real nice addition.
They need to address the running back spot. They sure do. We have less than a minute left. I'm sure you know all about Coachella, this music festival that goes on in the desert. It just wrapped the second week. I want you to draft quickly your top 3 headliners for what would be Kiperchella, a music festival that you get to book. Who are the 3 acts?
Wow, that's a great question. I was a huge Toby Keith fan. Toby Keith would have been number 1. So I love Toby Keith. I think you look back on it. I love Boston back in the day.
Okay, so we're Boston, Toby Keith. I like it.
And Eagles.
The Eagles. You're not listening to Dua Lipa. You're not listening to Charlie XC. No, none of that.
All the old stuff, Kay.
None of that.
Yep.
I
Eagles,
like this
Boston,
about you.
Toby Keith got a wide variety of opinions on music, but it's all the old school. It's all the old stuff, Kay.
Mel Kiper, a pleasure to meet you. Thank you. Continued success and good luck, and enjoy Green Bay. I hope to see you there.
Thank you. Appreciate it,
We'll
Kay.
be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow. I think Jackson Dart's on the show. We'll be back.